Hello and welcome to the Fight Sites Combat Sports News Recap. I'm Iggy. The awkward scheduling of one kind of threw me off last week, so I decided to wait it out a bit, and so that we can actually get a running time of 10 to 15 minutes this episode. So let's see what's been happening over the last 2 weeks, what's good, what's interesting. And starting with the fight recaps, Bellator happened. Patricio Freire, aka the Good Pitbull, choked out Emmanuel Sanchez. One on TNT was also a thing, and it's going to be a thing this week. I think it's going to be on Wednesday. Wednesday for the US and Thursday for the Asian region. And thankfully, this time they decided not to call it one Bruce Lee in the Shadow of Dragon or whatever. So Rug steamrolled Patrick Schmidt, Enrico Kell and Chingiz Alazov slugged it out for 3 rounds, with Kell taking the W by way of a mildly contentious split decision, with Kell's constant come-forward shoeshiner style giving him good enough optics in the eyes of the judges. I don't know, I think Alazov landed the better shots, but whatever. Maybe I'm just biased because he's named after Chinggis Khan. That is Genghis Khan. Eddie Alvarez has fallen victim to Chatri's unbreakable code of honor, losing to Yuri Lepicus by disqualification due to strikes to the back of the head. Despite clearly striking Lepicus in the ear and just beating his ass in general. I mean, if you want a good example of what strikes to the back of the head actually look, then go back and watch Christian Lee's performance against Lepicus again. I think it was Lepicus, yeah. He just lands 8 straight unanswered blows to the back of the head and is granted the TKO victory. Meanwhile, Chatri has came out condemning Alvarez's clearly Western influence, unscrupulous style of fighting. Just goes against everything that he stands for, being the clearly honorable and virtuous man that Chatri is. But anyway, Demetrius Johnson got his face kneed off by Adriano Moraes on the ground, which actually is legal in one. So it was pretty cool. It was a really good knee. Like Demetrius Johnson started, I think he started butt scooting to the fence to get up, and just and Moraes used this opportunity to just kind of blasted this knee into Johnson's face, got the knockout. So a bunch of idiots started bleating about this being some kind of conspiracy against DJ, while DJ himself basically recovered within 30 seconds and was up and about saying that he still loves grounded knees, like fair plays to Moraes, all that stuff. Just a class act overall. Some idiots were also posting screenshots of DJ talking about how grounded knees should be a thing everywhere after he got grounded kneed, as if it's some kind of gotcha. Like, haha! But, you know, MMA fans gonna do what they do best, which is just be dumb. Ed Gallo's done a review of DJ's career, by the way. Feel free to check it out on our Patreon. Entry-level sub is only $3, and you get access to most of our stuff this way. Highly recommend you check it out. And $5, and you can hop in in our Discord to chat with us and or talk shit to Ryan, whichever floats your boat. Right, moving on. Rod Tank out on Danny Williams, cutting his face open with elbows. It was pretty sick. Rod Tank was hilariously disgusted by the amount of blood himself, asking multiple times the ref to give him a timeout so that the officials can wipe the blood off his body. He was basically drenched in it. And in the end, Rod Tank and Danny hugged it out because Rod Tank was feeling kind of guilty about beating Williams a little too hard. It was cute, I liked it. Right, UFC on ABC, Holland vs Vittori took place last weekend, and it was a long-ass card. Alright, let's machine gun this one. Welterweight, Impa Kasanganay vs Sasha Palatnikov, Kasanganay via rear naked choke in the second. Light heavyweight, Dang Jung vs William Knight, Dang Jung by unanimous decision. Featherweight, Luis Saldana vs Jordan Griffin, Saldana by unanimous decision. Bantamweight, Jack Shaw vs Hunter Asia, Shaw by split decision. Heavyweight, judges Dano versus Jorgen De Castro, Dano by punch in the first round. Catchweight, 156.75 pounds. John Makdessi versus Ignacio Bahamondes. The Bull Makdessi by split decision. Lightweight, Mateusz Gamrot versus Scott Holtzman. The Gamer by knockout in the second. Huge win for the Gamers worldwide. The most oppressed minority. Lightweight, Joe Selecki versus Jan Miller, Selecki by unanimous decision. And on to the main card. Welterweight, Danny Rodriguez versus Mike Perry. Rodriguez by unanimous decision. Perry looked like dog shit. Like, he looked like the Kung Pao temple from the Kung Pao Enter the Fist purposely trained him wrong as a joke. Watch this fight and then go back and watch his fight against Luque. This is the guy that's given Luque the fight of his life. Just shocking stuff. Just bizarre. Women's strawweight, Mackenzie Dern versus Nina Nunes. Dern via armbar in the first. Looks like Dern's lost a bit of weight. Now Jack Slack has a real reason to mourn. Because nobody sane would ever mourn Prince Philip. Then again, most of the UK is insane. They are savage and wild, and I will never understand their barbarian ways. Middleweight, Julian Marquez versus Sam Alvey. Marquez via rear naked choke in the second. Smiling Sam smiles no more. Zen Simon of Bloody Elbow really fucked up this one, because he stated the obvious fact that Marquez isn't the most technically proficient fighter, and now Marquez will never give interviews to any of the Bloody Elbow stuff, in his own words. Huge loss for the bloodyelbow.com. And now Marquez won't give interviews to the fight side stuff either. Oops. I bet Ben will be really mad because Marquez won't buy his jerky no more. Featherweight, Arnold Allen versus Sadiq Yusuf. Allen by unanimous decision. Allen demonstrated some real improvements, thus moving on from British to decent. Guess that's it. Main event. Main event, middleweight, Marvin Vittori versus Kevin Holland. Vittori by unanimous decision via wrestles. Come on. Marvin Vittori versus Kevin Holland. Vittori by unanimous decision via wrestles. Paraphrasing Zach Makowski, it looked like Holland doesn't know that he competes in MMA with the way his takedown defense looked. So, I guess that's that for the recaps. Now for the news. Longback Benny plans to out crazy Ferguson, says that no one can ever really prepare for Ferguson because the man is too weird and unorthodox a fighter to form a strategy around, so he's just gonna go in and release his inner beast. Go Berserker Benny. My cat has about the same... His back is about as long as Longback Benny's is. Look at him. We've also got a Kelvin Cater health update. Still recovering from the Holloway fight. Apparently the medical commission didn't actually suspend him to treat his concussion. It was just for his broken nose. And it's the coaches who have Calvin following concussion protocol. Like, just this fucking sport, man. Like, I was pretty harsh on Cater's coaches for not stopping the fight after the fourth round, because honestly, Cater's looked like he survived a grenade explosion. Like, picture of Kelvin Cater looking like he's got PTSD. And yeah, it's good to know that they're taking care of him. Like, hope he recovers quickly and with no consequences, no negative consequences. And then Hooker wants Gagey for all Dos Anjos for his next fight. Gagey, he says, is his number one priority, and RDA failing that. And after having been knocked out by Chandler, Hooker is kind of in a limbo right now. So, plus there were talks of him retiring because he's left his gloves in the cage after waking up. I mean, I guess it's just spur of the moment stuff. Like, the man's just got knocked out in a very violent fashion, so obviously he's going to be upset. I mean, getting hit, it kind of hurts. It's not a pleasant experience. So I don't know whether he'll get either of these fights. Gage is kind of too high profile these days for Hooker, but it's not like the UFC matchmakers are brain geniuses that understand how matchmaking should work. True, I'm probably Trion probably has lots to say about this one. Watch out for the Fight Sites Weekly podcast. Ed and Trion talk a lot about matchmaking and divisional dynamics in there, so you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Simplecast. And Paddy Pimlet sparked outrage with racist comments against Georgians, saying that Georgians are basically fake Russians. And that's the inherent Georgian cowardice is the reason why Russians have been terrorizing them for years on end. I mean, just I guess so now basically every Georgian that's currently in the UFC are climbing over each other to jump at the chance to beat Paddy's ass. And I guess that's one way of securing the contract. Start a race war. Volkanovski health update. He's recuperating, but had a pretty rough go of it. Like it's unknown whether his career will be affected by this, but I sure hope it's not. Like, we've been given glimpses of just how badly COVID fucked up Khamzat Chimaev, so I hope Volkanovski's case was milder, and I'm gonna see more of him in top shape in the future. And oh god, Jesus. Rose Namajunas says better red than dead. Oh wait, no. Rose Namajunas says better dead than red. And no, it's not a snarky joke. That's literally what she said in a recent interview where she discussed her upcoming fight with Weili Zhang and her motivation. Yeah, her motivation being that Weili Zhang is a dirty commie. Because she's from China. Bet she'll hate me because I'm from Russia. Naturally, this prompted MMA Twitter, famously politics-literate community, full of people well versed in world history, to erupt in discourse, citing Rose's Lithuanian background and all that Cold War, all that good Cold War stuff as justification for her statements. Like, I mean, my personal take is that she just watches too much Praga U, and that Pat Berry is a fucking grooming creep. And like, sure, Weili is a prominent sports figure, and like big name athletes are usually extremely closely monitored by the Chinese government, so as to ensure that they always toe the party line at all times. So it's kind of like a sliding scale of whether Weili herself truly believes all the stuff the Chinese Communist Party wants their public figures to believe, or if she believes it, kind of like how my grandma believed that genetics is a capitalist invention and that crops should be grown according to the communist principles. Dying crops and famine must have been a result of sabotage, of inner sabotage from the counter-revolutionaries, and it's all American Nazi propaganda or else. I mean, it's all very complicated, and if you think you're qualified to chime in, then trust me, you probably aren't. And so I'm going to leave it at that. Right, breaking news! It is with a heavy heart I have to announce that Conor McGregor is back at it again. It's been recently revealed by Dustin Poirier that the Good Fight Foundation has never received any donations from Conor McGregor, despite Conor's promises to the contrary in the build-up to their second fight. This started when Conor tried to bring back his Mystic Mac gimmick and talked about how he's gonna knock Dustin out with a super secret kung fu style strike or whatever the fuck it was, like the Viper Tiger Strike. Just dumb bullshit, just bollocks for his casual fans who know nothing about fighting to lap up and pump his Instagram numbers, really. But what's important is that Dustin decided to take it up a notch and revealed that Conor's essentially piggybacked off Dustin's charity work to take the heat off his back for the sexual assault lawsuit and all the other sexual harassment allegations that he's still facing. And Conor's classy response was to imply that he didn't give the Dustin Foundation any money because he was unsure of whether the money will go where the foundation says it will go. Which is really just bullshit. It's incredibly easy to check. Like, I presume Conor has his own accountant that can run a background check on every organization they deal with. Like, the man runs a business after all, and I don't think Conor is the one actually running all this stuff. Like, if Conor was the one running all his operations. All his businesses would go up in flames like a zeppelin. Anyway, basically Conor threw a bitch fit and threatened to pull out of the fight in the classic Tyron Woodley move of, "You've offended me, so I'm not going to beat you up." What a circus. This sport, man. Clownery. Malarkey, clownery all around. Next time something dumb happens in this sport, instead of recapping it all in detail, I'm just gonna ask Fenio to add a clown honk noise. In fact, I'm gonna do it now. Fenio, honk if something dumb has happened in MMA today. See, it works. Fight announcement so far. Dillashaw Sandhagen card revealed. It's finally here. Starting with Damir Hadjovic, I think that's how the name is supposed to be read, versus Nicholas Motta, Roxanne Modafferi versus Tyler Santos, Jun Young Park versus Tafon Chukwi, Jimmy Flick versus Francisco Figueredo, Christina Aguilera versus Carlston Harris. Wait, no. No way. No way. Christian Aguilera versus Carlston Harris, Maurice Green versus Marcus Rogerio de Lima, Juliana Pena versus Blank, to be announced, Zaru Hadashev versus Ryan Benoit, Ben Rothwell versus Felipe Lins, and Diego Sanchez versus Donald Cerrone. Alright. And finally, our main event, Corey Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw. Woo! Fucking yeah! Yeah! And finally, Jake Paul versus Ben Askren card has been revealed. I'm not gonna read this one. Just look it up. Just Google it. Alright, I think that's enough of that. That's it for today. Check out the Fight Site for analytical content and our written works. Check out our Patreon for exclusive custom content like resume evaluations, more fight breakdowns, alternate commentary tracks, and more. Almost all of our existing work becomes available at the $3 tier, while $5 gives you access to our Discord server, where you can hang out and converse with our staff and other like-minded fight fans who appreciate the technical side of the sport, in all its intricacies. We're about to approach our stretch goal of 200 patrons, after which we're going to release 5 articles and 5 commentary tracks dedicated to our top 5 best MMA fights ever, so stay tuned. Don't forget to check out our main channel for technical breakdowns and shorts, and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more content such as this show or our discussion panels. This has been the Fight Sites Combat Sports News Recap, and I'll see you next week. Peace. This is the end of the show. You can go away now.